सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपः स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यां नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतौ पंगोर्मम मंदिर मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदां भोजौ श्री राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्य वृंदारण्यं कल्पाद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा शील गोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठालिवि सेव्यमानः स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतलस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपैर्गोपीनाथ श्रीयेस्तुनः। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome Bhakti Shastri students for the Bhakti Vaibhava class. So it's a wonderful thing to see you all in the Bhakti Vaibhava. In Bhakti Vaibhava, don't worry, we are not going to go in a fast track. It will be just 3 or 4 verses. Because Bhakti Shastri, yes, we have to do in a fast track because 4 books have to be completed. But yes, Bhakti Vaibhava will be in a slow pace, not very fast pace, it will be in a slow pace. So Bhagavad Amala Purana. Very clearly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives his opinion. If you make like this sound, what I'm going to do? Tell me. Gajendra Sutta Prabhu, please don't make sound. Mute your phone. Everybody should keep their phones in mute. Okay. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesh Tanaya Stadham. Mute your phone, Gajendra Sutta Prabhu. You know what to do? Mute the phone. Yes. Also, Naina Manjari is also attending. Very good. आराध्य भगवान ब्रजेश तनय स्तधाम वृंदावन रम्या काचिदुपासना ब्रजवधू वर्गे नवा कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणममलं प्रेमा पुमार्तो महान् श्री चैतन्य मतमिदं तत्र आदर न परः. These are the 5 matas or 5 opinions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First is what? Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya. He is Braja Isha Tanaya. Aradhya Bhagavan, Krishna he has not told. What he has told? Aradhya Bhagavan Braja Isha. Anybody can keep his name Krishna. Braja Isha. Even Nanda Baba name is not told. Braja Isha Tanaya. Vraja Isha. Who is the Isha? Isha is the controller of Vrindavan. It is Nanda Baba. So Nanda Baba's son Tanayaha is Krishna. He is Bhagavan. Aradhya Bhagavan. He is Bhagavan. Second is Tadhama Vrindavanam. That is his house. Which is his house? Vrindavan is his house. Ramya Kachita Upasana Brajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita. So who is the topmost devotee? That is the gopis, Brajavadhu. There are others' wives, but they are loving to Krishna. So much loving to Krishna that they are considered the best devotees. They are the topmost of all the devotees. Okay, so that is a third. So Vimla Mataji, you have not given exam. You should be in the, oh, Those who have not given exam, if you have given exam, suppose in the last year by Bhakti Vaibhava, if you have given exam for first 2 units, you don't have to give exam for those units. Suppose somebody has not given for third, fourth, and fifth, then he has to give. But you attend all the classes. Only if you pass all the 5 units, you are promoted to the second canto. Okay? It's good. Again here. Again, Bhagavatam to hear is wonderful. Okay, please mute your phones. So this is the third opinion. The topmost of all the devotees are the gopis of Vrindavan. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. Pramanam. It's a Pramana Amalam.
Yeah.
Prabhu, please mute your phone. I think somebody has to make me host, or whoever is the host, please go on doing that. So fourth opinion is Srimad Bhagavatam is Pramana. That is the Pramana. Pramana means that is a proof. And Amalam, spotless Purana. It is brilliant as the sun. In the 4 but Srila Prabhupada writes, this Bhagavata Puranam is the brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna. Pramana Amalam. Okay. And what is given? What is the highest goal of life? The highest goal of life is to attain prema of Krishna. Prema Pumartho Mahan. Puma means human. Artha means what is the goal of life? Prema Pumartho Mahan. That is Artha. Artha is the purpose of our life is to attain Krishna's prema, Krishna prema. Okay. Daya Sagar Prabhu, please mute your phone. Daya Sagar Prabhu. Chandrapati Prabhu, I think you should make me the host. And I don't have to scream. I just have to. Now whose phone is on? Anupama, mute your phone. Chandrapati Prabhu, make me the host. Okay. So these are the 5 opinions which is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And while describing Bhagavatam, Padma Puran says, just here now, this all will not come in the exam. Just the introduction of Bhagavatam first. Padma Puran says that the whole body of Krishna is Bhagavatam. Pado yadiyo pratama tvitiyo tratiyaturiyo katito yaduru nabhis tatha panchamaeva shashto bunjantaram yorigalam tathadham kantastu rajam navamo yadiyo mukharavindam dashamam prafullam ekadasho yaschalalam kapattam shiropi yadvadashe vabhati Namami Devam Karuna Nidhanam Tamala Varnam Suhitavataram Apara Samsara Samutra Setum Bhajamahe Bhagavata Swarupam. So Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. Bhagavatam has 12 cantos. First 2 cantos are compared to the lotus feet of Krishna. At least you should know this. For that you can note it down. The first 2 cantos are the lotus feet of Krishna. 3rd and the 4th are the thighs of Krishna. 5th is the Nabhi, umbilicus of Krishna. 6th and 7th are the hands of Krishna. 8th is the chest of Krishna. 9th is the Kantha, neck of Krishna. 10th is the lotus face of Krishna. 11th is the forehead of Krishna. 12th is the upper portion, upper head of Krishna. So 12 cantos. In this way, 12 cantos represent the body of Krishna. Bhagavatam contains 24,000 verses. 24? 18,000. How many?
18,000.
What is there? Which contains 24,000 verses? Ramayana. Ramayana contains 24,000
Yes,
verses.
yes.
18,000 verses are there in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has 10 subject matters. We should know now what is there in Bhagavatam. It contains 10 subject matters. And the subject matter starts from the 3rd canto. So what is there in first 2 cantos? Creating the whole scene, conversations, the questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya, the 6 important questions were asked by the sages of Naimisharanya to Suta Goswami. The whole thing, how it starts with, let us see. Lord Shiva is speaking Bhagavatam to Parvati. Parvati wanted to know about Lord, how the creation happens, how maintenance happens, who are the avatars, everything she wanted to know. Lord Shiva says, okay, I will tell, but I will be closing my eyes and speaking. I should know that you are hearing. For that, you should do The moment you stop doing if you sleep, then I will also stop speaking Bhagavatam. Now, see, Bade Prabhuji is sleeping here. So, very good. So, here Parvati also closed her eyes while hearing. And when she fell asleep, even Shiva was not knowing, but Humkar was going on. Why? A small parrot comes out of the egg. And when he sees, oh, now Parvati is going to stop doing Humkar, he starts. So in this, the whole Bhagavatam is told by Lord Shiva, which is actually heard by this small parrot. This small parrot is actually the parrot of Radharani. And when Lord Shiva opens eyes and sees that this person is sleeping, who heard? Did not want anybody to hear. That is why he drew away all the animals and the birds. This bird was inside the egg, and the egg hatched. That is how the small bird heard. And this bird, just to avoid the anger, the wrath of Lord Shiva, which comes in the form of because the fire, third eye is opened, and Lord Shiva wanted to burn this small bird. This bird flew towards Badikashram, where this Javali is opening the mouth and yawning, wife of Vyasa. And this bird goes and sits in the tummy of Javali. And there this child is growing for 16 years, not coming out. Vyasa says, please come out. You have become so big inside the tummy of your mother. Please come out. But no. Oh, Maya will attack me. Maya will attack me. What Maya will attack you? A self-realized soul. Just come out. And as he comes out, there he just runs. And here Vyasa runs behind Putreti. Putreti runs behind. And this boy, Sukadeva Goswami, when he hears about the 4 important shlokas of Bhagavatam from his father, that is Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, his love for Krishna increases more. Now from Brahmavadi, actually he was like a Brahmavadi, but he was now more inclined towards the devotional service. He runs towards Hastinapur, meets Parikshit Maharaj. There on the banks of Ganga, Parikshit Maharaj is waiting for the death. 7 days has been told. So for 7 days, Bhagavatam is told by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. In that assembly, his father is also there, Narada is there, Suta Goswami, all the sages are present. Suta Goswami hears from Sukadeva Goswami, goes to Naimisharanya, where sages, Shaunakadi Rishi, are sitting. And they are waiting because they had heard some part of Bhagavatam from Suta's father only, Lomaharsha. But Lomaharsha was very arrogant. When Balaram comes, he doesn't pay respect. Balaram is Adi Guru. Lomaharsha doesn't pay any respect. At least some gestures should be done because a great personality, Guru Tattva, Balaram is Guru, Adi Guru. But he doesn't do that. So to teach a lesson, Balaram just puts a small twig onto Lomaharsha and kills him. That is why the Bhagavatam is stopped, and these sages could not hear further. But they have the hope that one day we will be continuing with the Bhagavatam. That is how, when Suta Goswami comes, they're so happy. They ask questions. They're all very aged. Suta Goswami is a very small boy, but still, if you see the way they talk to him, they bless him. It's so wonderful in the first chapter. And they're asking important 6 questions. If you see, the whole Bhagavatam is based on these 6 questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya. And in Bhagavatam, you will find the conversation. The conversation between Maitreya Rishi, Maitra Vidura Samvada, Shukadev Goswami Parishit Samvada, Suta Goswami, Suta Goswami and sages of Naimisharanya headed by Shaunaka Rishi Samvada. Like this, you will find various samvada, means conversation. Generally, we like to talk. And in the talk, in the conversation, we'll find somebody asking a question, another person answering to it. But our questions are useless and the answers are also hopeless. There's no meaning at all. What you ate, what you have to do? He has eaten, he has digested, he has passed also. But what is the sense in asking what you have eaten, what you are drinking, what you are wearing? No. But these questions are based on Krishna. That is why you can ask what you have offered to Krishna. At least some sense is there in the question. But all senseless questions we are into asking and answering. So Bhagavatam emphasizes on the questions based on Krishna, and the answers are also wonderful. Questions are also wonderful. Answers are also wonderful. The questions itself are beneficial to the whole world, and the answers will surely take a person back home, back to God. So your work, your homework is introduction runs to so many pages. You have to study that, and small questions will be based, for which there is no mark, but we want to know that whether you have studied or not. So some small questions will be given, some 20 questions, small questions on introduction. This Saturday, Sunday, by this Saturday, Sunday, till Saturday, Sunday, okay, next Saturday, Sunday, you have 2 weeks to study the introduction. And in this 20 questions or 15 questions, whatever comes, but this is not counted for the exam. But introduction is so wonderful. Prabhupada spent practically hours in writing this introduction. It runs to 30 pages, 57 pages. Okay, we are starting with chapter 1, first text. But if you're not doing the questions, we will not be allowing you to study this. You will be clearly removed. The very compulsorily introduction questions has to be answered to make yourself eligible to join Bhakti Vaibhava. Some eligibility should be there. So that is the that is for that 2 weeks we are giving, because 37 pages, and you can study on your own, because it is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears and he reveals Bhagavatam. Before that, Bhagavatam also is existing, but Samman Bonam is Bhagavatam. Everything is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is not just another scripture. Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. That has been emphasized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is why this introduction is very important. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. So Athato Brahma Jigyasa. This we have studied in the introduction of Bhakti Shastri, that is in Bhagavad Gita. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Till that time, you are just a social animal. The moment you inquire, Athato, from now, Ramanujacharya says, from now, that means till now, what I was just into eating, mating, sleeping, defending. A social animal. Even science speaks about it. Man is a social animal. But then, when is he going to be called as human? Only when he starts inquiring. Athato. Sripad Ramanujacharya says, Athato, at least from now, he has a tendency to inquire. That means he's in the category of human. So Athato Brahma Jigyasa, wonderful. I'm inquiring about Lord. I'm inquiring about myself. Who am I? What is my connection to Lord? Is God existing? Then who is God? Second aphorism, or second sutra, Vedanta Sutra, is 521 Vedanta Sutras. What happens? Vedavyasa wrote Vedas, huge volume of Vedas. Lakhs and lakhs of slokas are there. After writing Vedas, after writing Puranas, after writing Itihasas, still he is not happy. He is not satisfied. Narada comes and he is asking, yeah, you're going to study that in the 4th and 5th chapter of this first canto. So Narada is asking, what happened? Then he says, I don't know why I'm not satisfied. Can you give the answer? So Narada says, 2 verses are very important. The Narada says, actually what you have given is only the pilgrimage of crows. That means what you have given is only a dustbin. What is the pilgrimage of crows? Crows sit in the dustbin. So what you have given is only a dustbin. Only Narada can speak like this. So what you have given, Bichara, he has written Vedas, he has written Puranas, Itihasas, still he says what you have given is a dustbin. So what you do is now you condense everything and make into sutras and give a natural commentary for that sutra, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So he condensed the whole Vedas into sutras. That goes about to 521, 2021. Exactly the figure is 52021 verses. Sutras are there. Sutras means small, small formulas, affirmations, and giving a natural commentary for it. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So the answer to Athato Brahma Jigyasa, the first sutra, is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Who is that person? That person is Vasudeva. So paying obeisances. When you pay obeisances, first you should look at to whom you are paying obeisances. You not just pay dharma. You should see na, to whom you are paying obeisances. That is known as Vastu Nirdesha. Vastu Nirdesha means I should know to whom I am paying obeisances. Sometimes people go near the temple. They don't even look at who is there inside the temple. They'll do like this, they'll do like this, they'll do something like this. And but Vastu Nirdesha, looking at whom I'm paying obeisances and then paying obeisances. So Om refers to the designation of Krishna. Like you say, engineers are, without saying, just by saying Om, it refers to Krishna only. Om iti Brahma, iti Akshara Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita we have studied. So Om refers to Krishna. Om refers to the position of Lord, that he is controller of inner potency, external potency, and marginal potency. Namaha Bhagavate is Bhagavan Vasudevaya. Vasudev's son Vasudevaya. Now, this whole first verse is very, very important verse, which you have to memorize. Janmadesya yatonvayaditaratah chartesha vikyaswarat tene brahma hrudaya adikavaye yanti yat surayah tejo vari mrudam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi. So this is actually Gayatri. Satyam param dhimahi. How Gayatri starts? This is a Gayatri mantra for Bhagavatam. What is Gayatri mantra for Bhagavatam is the first verse of Bhagavatam. Om bhurvuvasvaha tat saviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. There also dhimahi comes. Here also dhimahi. Dhimahi means to meditate. Let us see. Again we'll chant. So read along with me and then Narayana will chant this verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadesya yatonvayaditaratah chartesha vigyaswara tene brahma hrudaya adikavaye muhyanti yat surayah tejo vari mrudam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi.
Mother, should I chant? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditarata chartheshvabhignaswarat tene brahmaridad adikavaye muyyanti yat surayah tejo vari mrudam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha Dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi.
Very nice. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratah chartesha vigyaswarat. Let us see the first line. Janmadhyasya. Chant along with me. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratah yatonvayaditaratah chartesha abhigyah swarat. Okay, Janma Adi. Janma means creation. Creation, etc. And creation is there, then what you should do? Maintenance also, na? Just by creating, what is going to happen? Creation, maintenance, destruction. All three things, etc. has been told. Janma Adi, creation, etc. So God, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. So naturally, destruction, creation, maintenance, destruction. All these, who is doing? Yatonvayad, Anvayad. So, what is the meaning of Anvayad? Anvayad means he does it directly. How does he do directly? By Karanadakshay Vishnu. As Garbhadakshay Vishnu, what he does? Itarataha. He does it indirectly. He gets it done by Brahma. Sometimes he will do it directly. Sometimes he will do it indirectly. It is his will. Itarataha. Itarataha means through others. Cha artha. He knows the purpose of his activity. For Lord, actually, there is no activity. He gets it done by his so many multifarious energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividheva Shruyate. He has multifarious energies. Natasya Karyam Karanam Cha Vidyate. He doesn't have any work. He does not like to do any work. He will not do any work. Don't expect Lord to do some work. Don't say, oh Lord, remove my distress. He will not do anything. But he will get it done from others. He has many multifarious energies. So don't ask to Lord anything. Better you ask to Balram, because all the work Balram only does. How he does? Because Krishna expands himself into Balram. Krishna says, don't disturb me. He puts the board, do not disturb. It is there in the Vedas. Kshetrashadra Upanishad clearly says, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. I don't do any work. But he gets all the work done by his energies. So Balaram is his first energy, Samvit Shakti. Samvit Sandhini Shakti is Balaram. He does it through Balaram. Balaram expands into 4 quadruples. Vasudeva Pradyumna Aniruddha Sankarshan. Again, Sankarshan expands into 4 quadruples. In this way, Sankarshan expands into Mahasankarshan. Mahasankarshan expands into Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu glances at the Mahatattva, and from Mahattatva, various Brahmandas emanate from the body of Karanadakshay Vishnu. And in this way, Lord enters into every Brahmanda. From every Brahmanda, in every Brahmanda, there is Garbhadakshay Vishnu. From each navel, Brahma appears. And again, Brahma is given the task for sub-creation. Anyhow, so like this, Lord does the work through, Lord knows a purpose first. Why is he creating? Just to laugh at the distress of the people? Somebody asked this question. Mataji, if Lord knew that the living entities are going to suffer in this material world, why is he creating? So that he can clap hands and laugh at the distress of the people? No. He knows the purpose. He knows the purpose of creation. Cha artheshwaha. Then abhikyaha. Abhikya means he knows. He knows the purpose. Abhikya means he's fully aware. He knows how to create. He's fully aware. He knows the purpose. Swarat. He's completely independent. You cannot question Lord, why did you create? Meri Marzi. Movie came na? Meri Marzi. So that movie actually belongs to Krishna. It is not Meri Marzi. And Krishna says, Acha Teri Marzi, now I will see you. I will create. That is Meri Marzi. So anyhow, Swarat refers to he is completely independent. Now just see, creation, maintenance, destruction. Krishna does it either directly or indirectly. He knows the purpose. He knows he is completely aware of everything. He's fully cognizant. And then he's completely independent. Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adi Kavaye Muyyanti Yat Surayah. So Brahma, here Brahma refers to Brahma Jnana, transcendental knowledge. He gave it in the heart of Adi Kavaye. Who is Adi Kavaye? Brahma. Brahma appears on the navel of Krishna. When he appears on the navel of Krishna, everywhere there is only darkness. Brahma is thinking, where am I? He is not able to see anything. He is sitting on the top of the lotus, but he is not able to see anything because in that lotus stem, there are 14 planetary systems, but Brahma should have some light to see. He was not knowing anything. He is thinking, where am I? He's completely confused. At that time, he hears three words: tap, tap, tap. Do tapasya. Tap, tap, tap means what? Do tapasya. When you do tapasya, then I will illumine yourself. I will give you all the knowledge, Krishna says. So tap, tap, tap. As soon as Brahma hears this word tap, 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 he starts meditating. When he starts meditating, the whole knowledge is revealed to him, but still, muyanti yat suraya. Suraya refers to the demigods. Even Brahma is bewildered. Muyanti means bewildered. Brahma vimohalina we know. So the dealings of Krishna with the Vrajavasis are a subject of bewilderment even to Brahma, who is the head of all the demigods. Krishna does not reveal his love to the gopis, his love to the gopas, his love to the Vrajavasis to everyone. Even he keeps this as a secret to the demigods headed by Brahma. Tejo vari mrudam yata vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha yatra trisargah mrusha. So this is a creation. Whole creation happens because of the three modes: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So in this creation, what happens? Tejahavari. This fire appears to be like water. Sometimes the water appears like to be mud. Sometimes earth appears to be like water. You have mirage. What is it? Mirage. The earth appears to be like water, right? Appears to be like water. So this type of illusion is there. And such actions and reactions are there in this material world because of the three modes of material nature, which bewilders a person. And that is Maya. Maya means not this. That means you are not looking at it in a proper perspective. It is something different and you are seeing it as something different. So this is Maya, where a person is not able to see it properly. And this is only because of the influence of Trisargaha, Amrushaha, and it appears to be factual. We think, oh, this is the permanent place. Where am I? Where I'm staying is a permanent place. That is the biggest illusion what we have. This body is a permanent place where I'm going to stay. And this is only because of the actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature that I consider the material world to be factual. Though material world is not false. Material world is not false. That is how in Navaprameyam, the 9 important teachings which Madhvacharya gave. First thing is, this world is not mithya. Jagat satyam. Jagat is satyam, but it is temporary. It is not permanent. So here Amrisha refers to considering this to be permanent. Then which is that permanent place? Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam. Dhamna svena. Lord's Dham is the permanent place. And that has no kuhaka. Kuhaka means mist, what you call, fog. In Vrindavan, if you go in rainy, in winter seasons, you cannot see which is near also. Everything there is fog. Sometimes the trains are cancelled. But in spiritual world, you will not find any fog there. That means there is no illusion. Nirasta kuhakam. There is no illusion over there. Satyam param dhimahi. That is the Satyam param. That is the topmost. Satyam param. So one is intrinsic quality, one is extrinsic quality, right? One is what is his internal quality. What is the internal quality of Krishna? He is Satyam. He is Param. That is intrinsic quality. What is extrinsic quality? That is all given. Janmadhyasya yatonvayadi tarta. He is completely independent. He does everything directly, indirectly. He knows everything. He is completely independent. He knows the purpose. He has given this knowledge to Brahma, but still he keeps something secret. He has created the whole material world out of the three modes of material nature, which appears to be factual, but his abode is beyond illusion. So these are all the extrinsic quality of Krishna. What is the internal quality of Krishna? Krishna is Satyam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Now Vasudeva's qualities have been described here. One is internal quality, one is external quality. Internal quality, he is Satyam. He is the only truth. Param truth, absolute truth. Param, absolute truth. He is the only absolute truth. Other all things are his external qualities. Okay? So big purpose, which has to be divided into at least 4 or 5 devotees. Vasandhani Prabhu, start reading the translation. First you read the translation. Then purport will be started by Vimla Mataji. First paragraph. Rajendra Sutta Prabhu, second paragraph. Start. And when you should unmute, na? When the class is going on, that time all of you unmute. Now unmute your phone and read. Unmute the phone. Hey man. Unmute.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thanks for the service, Mataji. Translation. O my Lord, Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is absolute truth and primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universe. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he who only first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reaction of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Shall I continue, Mataji?
No.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah,
Purport?
Yeah.
Obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Vasudev, directly indicate Lord Shri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudev and Devaki. This fact will be more explicitly explained in the text of this work. Shri Vyasadeva asserts herein that Shri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all others are his direct or indirect plenary portion or portions of the portion. Srila Jiva Goswami has even more explicitly explained the subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha, and Brahma, the original living being, has explained the subject of Sri Krishna substantially in his treatise named Brahma Samhita. In the Samaveda Upanishad, it is also stated that Lord Shri Krishna is the divine son of Devaki. Therefore, in this prayer, the first proposition holds that Lord Shri Krishna is the primeval Lord, and if any transcendental nomenclature is to be understood as belonging to the absolute personality of Godhead, it must be the name indicated by the word Krishna, which means the all-attractive. In Bhagavad Gita, in many places, the Lord asserts himself to be the original personality of Godhead, and this is confirmed by Arjuna and also by great sages like Narad, Vyas, and many others. In the Padma Puran, it is also stated that out of the innumerable names of the Lord, the name of Krishna is the principal one. Vasudev indicates the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, and all the different forms of the Lord being identical with Vasudev are indicated in this text. The name Vasudev particularly indicates the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Shri Krishna is always meditated upon by the Paramahamsas, who are the perfected ones among those in the renounced order of life. Hare Krishna. Should I continue?
No. Rajendra Sutta.
Hare Krishna. Vasudeva, Lord Sri Krishna, is the case of all cases. Everything that exists emanates from the
Cause
Lord.
of all causes.
Cause
Cause of all.
all causal. Everything that exists emanates from the world. How this is explained in later chapters of this work. This work is described by Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya, as the spotless Purana, because it contains the transcendental narration of the personality of God Sri Krishna. The efficacy of the Srimad Bhagavad is also very glorious. It was inspired by Sri Vyasa after he had attained maturity in transcendental knowledge. He wrote this under the instruction of Sri Narad Ji, his spiritual master. Vyasa compiled all Vedic literatures containing the whole division of the Vedas. The Vedas, the Brahma Sutras, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, and so on. But nevertheless, he was not satisfied. His dissatisfaction was observed by his spiritual master, and thus Narada advised him to write on the transcendental activities of Lord Sri Krishna. These transcendental activities are described specifically in the 10th of his work. But in order to reach to the very substance, one must proceed gradually by developing knowledge of categories. Sorry.
Okay. Adi Satviki Mataji, read from here. Unmute. Jai Ho. Unmute your phone. Unmute. I know you're very much in ecstasy.
Mataji, looking at you, my God, it's so nice to hear you and see you. It's so nice. All night I was writing this and that and everything. I was excited. Then in the morning I slept. And then I was ready for everything. Sorry, Mataji. Thank you. It is natural that a philosophical mind wants to know about the origin of the creation. At night, the star sky naturally about.
Your voice is breaking.
Oh, sorry, Mataji. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
At night, he sees the stars in the sky and he naturally speculates about their inhabitants. Such inquirers are natural for man because man has developed consciousness which is that of the animals. The author of Srimad Bhagavatam gives a direct answer to such inquiries. He says that the Lord Sri Krishna is the origin of all creations. He is not only creator of the universe, destroyer.
Voice. The manifested cosmic nature is created at a certain period by the will of the Lord.
By the will of the Lord. It is maintained some time and then it is annihilated by his will. Therefore, the will is behind all cosmic activities. Of course, atheists, various who do not believe in
Your voice is not coming proper. Of course, there are atheists of various categories who do not believe in the Creator, but it is due to the pure fund of knowledge. The modern scientist, for example, has created space satellites, and by the same arrangement or other, these satellites are thrown into outer space to fly for some time at the control of the scientist who's far away. Similarly, all the universes will, with innumerable stars and planets, are controlled by the intelligence of the personality of God. Okay,
Sorry,
Ramakrishna Prabhu, you read. Your connectivity is not coming. Okay, Ramakrishna Prabhu, read from here.
Hare Krishna. In Vedic literatures, it is said that the absolute truth, personality of Godhead, is the chief amongst all living personalities. All living beings, beginning from the first created being, Brahma, Down to the smallest ant are individual living beings. And above Brahma, there are even other living beings with individual capacities. And the personality of Godhead is also a similar living being. And he is an individual, as are the other living beings. But the Supreme Lord or the Supreme Living Being has the greatest intelligence, and he possesses supermost inconceivable energies of all different varieties. If a man's brain can produce a space satellite, one can very easily imagine how brains higher than man can produce similarly wonderful things which are far superior. The reasonable person will easily accept this argument, but there are stubborn atheists who would never agree. Srila Vyasadeva, however, at once accepts the supreme intelligence as the Parameshwara. He offers his respectful obeisances under the supreme intelligence addressed as the Para or the Parameshwara or the supreme personality of Godhead. And that Parameshwara is Sri Krishna as admitted in Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures delivered by Sri Vyasadeva and specifically in this Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that there is no other Paratattva, Sammambonam, than himself. Therefore, Sri Vyasadeva at once worships the Paratattva Sri Krishna, whose transcendental activities are described in the 10th canto. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna clearly says that there is nobody beyond me. There is no truth beyond me. Okay, Vaishnava Gaur Prabhu, read from here. Mattaha partaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjay. Sarvadam plotam sutre mani gadaiva. That is a verse. Okay, read.
Yes. Unscrupulous persons go immediately to the 10th canto and especially to the 5 chapters which describes the Lord's Ras dance. This portion of Srimad Bhagavatam is the most confidential part of this great literature. Unless one is thoroughly accomplished in the transcendental knowledge of the Lord, one is sure to misunderstand the Lord's worshipable transcendental pastime called Ras dance and his love affairs with the gopis. This subject matter is highly spiritual, and only the liberated persons who have gradually attained to the stage of Paramahansa can transcendently relish this Ras dance. Srila Vyasadeva therefore gives that reader the chance to gradually develop spiritual realization before actually relishing the essence of the pastime of the Lord. Therefore, he purposely invokes a Gayatri mantra, Dhimahi. This Gayatri mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people. When one is successful in chanting the Gayatri mantra, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must therefore acquire Brahminical qualities or be perfectly situated in the quality of goodness in order to chant the Gayatri mantra successfully and then attain to the stage of transcendently realizing the Lord, his name, his fame, his qualities, and so on. Hare Krishna.
Daya Sagar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the narration of Svarupa of the Lord manifested by his internal potency, and this potency is distinguished from the external potency which has manifested the cosmic world, which is within our experience. Srila Vyasadeva makes a clear distinction between the two in this shloka. Sri Vyasadeva says herein that the manifested internal potency is real, whereas the external manifested energy in the form of material existence is only temporary and illusory, like the mirage in the desert. In the desert mirage, there is no actual water. There is only the appearance of water. Real water is somewhere else. The manifested cosmic creation appears as real, but reality, of which this is but a shadow, is in the spiritual world. Absolute truth is in the spiritual sky, not in the material sky. In the material sky, everything is relative truth. That is to say, one truth depends on something else. This cosmic creation results from interaction of the three modes of nature, and the temporary manifestations are so created so to present an illusion of reality to the bewildered mind of the conditioned soul, who appears in so many species of life, including the higher demigods like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, and so on. In actuality, there is no reality in the manifested world.
Yes.
There appears to be reality, however, because of the true reality which exists in the spiritual world, where the personality of Godhead eternally exists with his transcendental paraphernalia.
So we have studied in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that how this material world is only the reflection of the original spiritual world. Right? We have studied that. Now, Ansuti Prabhu, you need. Ansuti Prabhu.
Yes, Madam. Is it conditioned souls?
The chief engineer of a, that means
Yeah,
you're not
yes,
in the
yes.
class properly.
No,
Not
no,
yet.
I just. Hare Krishna, Madam. The chief engineer of a complicated construction does not personally take part in the construction, but he knows every nook and corner because everything is done under his direction. He knows everything about construction, both directly and indirectly. Similarly, the personality of Godhead, who is the supreme engineer of this cosmic creation, knows how every nook and corner, although affairs are being carried out by demigods, beginning the Brahma down to the insignificant, and no one is independent in their material creation. The hand of the Lord is seen everywhere. All material elements as well as all spiritual sparks emanate from Him only. And whatever is created in this material world is but the interaction of two energies. The material and the spiritual, which emanate from the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The chemist can manufacture water in the chemical laboratory by mixing hydrogen and oxygen. But in reality, the living entity works in the laboratory under the direction of the Supreme Lord. And the material with which he works are also supplied by the Lord. The Lord knows everything directly and indirectly, and he is cognizant of all minute details, and he is fully independent. He is compared to a mine of gold, and the cosmic creation in so many different forms are compared to objects made from gold, such as gold rings, necklace, and so on. The gold ring and the gold necklace are qualitatively one with the gold in the mine, but quantitatively the gold in the mine is different. Therefore, the absolute truth is simultaneously one and different. Nothing is absolutely equal with the absolute truth, but at the same time, nothing is independent of the absolute truth. Hare Krishna.
Yes, everything is dependent on absolute truth. Gadi Prabhu, read from here.
Krishna Mataji, I am traveling. Just
Okay, Anupama. Anupama.
She's also traveling.
Okay, Shilpa. Read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I'm traveling. Conditioned souls beginning from Brahma, who engineers the entire universe, down to the insignificant ant, are all creating, but none of them is independent of the Supreme Lord. The materialistic wrongly thinks that there is no creator other than his own self. This is called Maya or illusion. Because of his poor fund of knowledge, the materialist cannot see beyond the purview of his imperfect senses, and thus he thinks that matter automatically takes its own shape without the aid of a superior intelligence. This is refuted in this shloka by Srila Vyasadeva. Since the incomplete whole or the absolute truth is the source of everything, nothing can be independent of the body of the absolute truth. Whatever happens to the body quickly becomes known to the embodied. Similarly, the creation is the body of the absolute whole. Therefore, the absolute knows everything directly and indirectly that happens in the creation.
Yes. Cognizant. He knows everything. Okay, next we'll read Manoj Jha Prabhu will read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the Shruti mantra, it is also stated that the absolute whole or Brahman is the ultimate source of everything. Everything emanates from him and everything is maintained by him. And at the end, everything enters into him. That is the law of nature. In the Smriti mantra, the same is confirmed. It is said that the source from which everything emanates at the beginning of Brahma's millennium and the reservoir to which everything ultimately enters is the absolute truth or Brahman. Material scientists take it for granted that the ultimate source of the planetary system is the sun, but they are unable to explain the source of the sun. Herein, the ultimate source is explained. According to the Vedic literatures, Brahma, who may be compared to the sun, is not the ultimate creator. It is stated in this sloka that Brahma was taught Vedic knowledge by the personality of Godhead. One may argue that Brahma, being the original living being, could not be inspired because there was no other being living at that time. Herein it is stated that the Supreme Lord inspired the secondary creator Brahma in order that Brahma could carry out his creative functions. So the supreme intelligence behind all the creations is the absolute Godhead, Sri Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna states that it is He only who superintends the creative energy, Prakriti, which constitutes the totality of matter. Therefore, Sri Vyasadeva does not worship Brahma, but the Supreme Lord, who guides Brahma in his creative activities. In this sloka, the particular words Abhigya and Swarat are significant. These two words
Swarat.
distinguish the
Swarat.
Supreme Lord from all the other
Swarat. Swarat. Not
Swarat.
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 Read. Abhigya.
No other
Swarat.
living entity is either Abhigya or Swarata. That is, no one is either fully cognizant or fully independent. Even Brahma has to meditate upon the Supreme Lord in order to create. Then what to speak of great scientists like Einstein? The brain of such a scientist are certainly not the products of any human being. Scientists cannot manufacture such a brain. And what to speak of foolish atheists who defy the authority of the Lord? Even Mayavadi impersonalists who flatter themselves that they can become one with the Lord are neither Abhigya or Swarat. Such impersonalists undergo severe austerities to acquire knowledge to become one with the Lord, but ultimately they become dependent on some rich disciple who supplies them with money to build monasteries and temples. Atheists like Ravana or Hiranyakashipu had to undergo severe penances before they could flout the authority of the Lord, but ultimately they were rendered helpless and could not save themselves. When the Lord appeared before them as cruel death, this is also the case with the modern scientists, modern atheists, who also dare to flout the authority of the Lord. Such atheists will be dealt with, for history repeats itself. Whenever man neglects the authority of the Lord, nature and her laws penalize him. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.7. In the well-known verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glani. Whenever there is a Whenever there is a decline of dharma and a rise of adharma, O Arjuna, then I incarnate myself.
Yes. Suryadeksha Prabhu, read from here. Suryadeksha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna. That the
This time you have to give exam.
perfect is confirmed in all Shruti mantras.
This time you have to
Yes,
give
yes,
exam.
Mataji.
Yeah. Old
Yes,
batch.
Mataji. It is said in the Shruti mantras that all the perfect Lord threw a glance over matter and thus created all living beings. The living beings are parts and parcels of the Lord. And he impregnates material creation with seeds of spiritual sparks. And thus the creative energies are set in motion to enact so many wonderful creations. An atheist may argue that God is no more expert than a watchmaker, but of course, God is He can create machines in duplicate male and female forms. The male and female forms of different types of machineries go on, producing innumerable similar machines without God's further attention. If a man could manufacture such a set of machines that could produce then he could approach the intelligence of God. But that is not possible, for each machine has to be handled individually. Therefore, no one can create as well as God. Another name of God is Asamruddhava, which means that no one is equal or greater than him. Param Satyam or Supreme Truth is he who has no equal or superior. This is confirmed in the Shruti Mantras. It is said that before the creation of the material universe, there existed the Lord only, who is master of everyone. That Lord instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge that Lord has to be obeyed in all respects. Anyone who wants to get rid of the material entanglement must surrender unto him. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes. Okay. Usha Mataji, read. Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Unless one surrenders unto the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, it is certain that he will be bewildered. When an intelligent man surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna and knows completely that Krishna is the cause of all causes, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, then only can such an intelligent man become a Mahatma or a great soul. But such a great soul is rarely seen. Only the Mahatmas can understand that the Supreme Lord is the primeval cause of all creations. He is Parama or ultimate truth, because all other truths are relative to him. He is omniscient. For him, there is no illusion. Hare Krishna.
Read further.
Achha. Some Mayavadi scholars argue that Srimad Bhagavatam was not compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, and some of them suggest that this book is a modern creation written by someone named Vopadeva. In order to refute such meaningless arguments, Sri Sridhara Swami points out that there is reference to the Bhagavatam in many of the oldest Puranas. This first sloka of the Bhagavatam begins with the Gayatri Mantra. There is reference to this in the Matsya Purana, which is the oldest Purana. In that Purana, it is said with reference to the Gayatri Mantra in the Bhagavatam that there are many narrations of spiritual instructions beginning with the Gayatri Mantra. And that is the history of Vritasura. Anyone who makes a gift of this great work on a full moon day attains to the highest perfection of life by returning to Godhead. There is a reference to the Bhagavatam in other Puranas also, where it is clearly stated that this work was finished in the 12 cantos, which includes 18,000 slokas. In the Padma Purana, also, there is a reference to the Bhagavatam in a conversation between Gautama and Maharaja Ambarish. The king was advised therein to read regularly Srimad Bhagavatam if he desired liberation from material bondage. Under the circumstances, there is no doubt about the authority of the Bhagavatam. Within the past 500 years, many erudite scholars and acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Vallabhacharya, and many other distinguished scholars, even after the time of Lord Chaitanya, made elaborate commentations on the Bhagavatam, and the serious student would do well to attempt to go through them to better relish their transcendental message. Hare Krishna.
Gyandeep Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur specifically deals with the original and pure sex philosophy, psychology, Adi Rasa, devoid of all mundane inebriety. The whole material creation is moving under the principle of sex life. And modern civilization, sex life is the focal point for all activities. Whenever one turns his face, he sees life predominant. Therefore, sex life is not unreal. Reality is experienced in the spiritual world. The material sex life is but a perverted reflection of the original fact. The original fact is in the absolute truth, and thus the absolute truth cannot be impersonal. It is not possible to be impersonal and contain pure sex life. Consequently, the impersonalist philosophers have given indirect impetus to the abominable mundane sex life because they have overstressed the impersonality of the ultimate truth. Consequently, man without information of the actual spiritual form of sex has accepted perverted material sex life as the all in all. There is a distinction between sex life in the deceased Bhagavatam will gradually elevate the unbiased reader to the highest perfectional stage of transcendence. It will enable him to transcend the three modes of material activities, fruitive actions, speculative philosophy, and worship of functional deities as directed and inculcated in Vedic verses. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
It's not doing speak. Class is going on, no? So Srimad Bhagavatam will gradually elevate the unbiased reader to the highest perfectional stage of transcendence. Okay. Any questions based on this? You have any questions? What is the question? Any questions? Yes, Manoja Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, my question is that, like in Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter started with a background where Dhritarashtra asked the question. Now, for this loka, what is the background, Mataji?
Now to start.
Or Srila Vyasadeva just writes to.
Here, first introduction of Lord is given. Who is Lord? Athato Brahma Jignasa. It is Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna is God. First, it starts with this one. About Lord. Who is Lord? His intrinsic quality, extrinsic quality. That is how. And now, after this, second verse onwards, third verse onwards. First about Lord, then about Bhagavatam, and then the whole scene will be created.
But who is saying to whom these slokas?
Nobody is saying to anyone. Vyasa is telling to all of us.
Okay.
Vyasa is first introducing Lord to us. Same thing, but where Bhagavad Gita ends, Bhagavatam begins. Bhagavad Gita ended where? Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Give all type of religiosity. Which type of religiosity? That is going to come in the second verse. Dharma projita kaita votra paramo nirmasaranam sakam. That is where Bhagavad Gita ended, Bhagavatam is beginning. The second verse is the beginning of Bhagavatam. Where it ended, there it started. Which type of dharma has to be told to do? Paritejya. That is Kaitava Dharma. Dharma Prochita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. In the tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll be explaining the second verse. So it is a continuation of Bhagavad Gita only. Don't say I have finished my Bhagavad Gita. No, it is continuation. Where it ended, there is beginning now. Anyone else?
Mataji, one verse will be for the next class.
Not one
so that
verse.
we study in advance.
This is a very big verse now. That is why. It's not that one verse I'm going to take. One verse I'll take. It will take 4 years.
Okay. So that we pre-read before we come to the class.
Every time you should do Swadhyaya, na? Yes, Vimala Mataji.
Mataji, what is Shruti mantra and Smriti mantra?
Shruti is Smriti. Shrutis are the Vedas. Smritis are after you hear, you remember, and there comes the Puranas and the Itihasas. Shrutis are the Vedas. After hearing, remembering, and again writing. There is Smriti mantras from the Puranas and the Itihasas. They are the Smriti mantras. That is why there are erudite scholars who say that we don't have faith in Itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, because they are all Smritis. We only believe Shrutis. What is Purana? Purana is nothing but explanation of Upanishad, which is a part of Veda. Veda is divided into 4 parts: Brahmanakas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads. So Upanishad has been elaborately described, and that is Purana. And from the Purana, 2 dynasties are taken. That is Surya Vamshi, Chandra Vamshi. That is how Ramayana, Mahabharata emanates. So they say this is Smriti. You are remembering a dynasty and you are writing. So we only believe Shruti. So Shruti and Smriti are interrelated with each other.
Bhagavad Gita is Shruti or Smriti?
Smritis.
It is both.
Smriti. After hearing, remembering, Sanjaya is writing. Tells to Vyasa. Sanjaya is the student of Vyasa. Smriti. Okay. Anyone else? If no one is there, our Naina Manjari is there to tell the shloka. Come here. She is waiting to tell the shloka. Come fast, come fast. She likes to chant the shlokas, so we will hear from her. Chant.
नमामि दूतं रामस्य सुखदं च सुरध्रुवं पीनवित्रं महाबाहु सर्वशत्रुनिवारणम्
श्रवणं कीर्तनं
श्रवणं कीर्तनं विष्णु स्मरणं पादसेवनम् अर्चनं वन्दनं दास्यं सख्यं संख्यम् आत्मनिवेदनम् इति भूंसार्पिता विष्णु भक्तिश्चेनवलक्षणा क्रियेत भगवत्यद्धा तन्मन्येदीतमुत्तमम्.
Very good.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
वैष्णववृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Very good.
Appa. Appa.